But I thought there was enough improvements in Zodiac Age that I could comfortably increase it from bottom to second bottom. Which I know isn't like... It's not exactly a massive increase, but like... You know, I guess at least it's not at the bottom anymore. So yeah, so to sum it all up, folks, because I don't know how long I've been talking about Final Fantasy. Like I've picked up Final Fantasy 16 for a relatively cheap price, and I'm gonna play it at some point and get an opinion on it. What I like about it, what I dislike about it. It's interesting. I do wonder what's gonna happen with 17. Because Final Fantasy itself is in a weird place as well. Like, Final Fantasy 16 has underperformed, as far as I can tell. It hasn't failed, because I do believe they have said that it is profitable, but it definitely didn't do as well as they would have liked. Which is part of why now they're like focusing on releasing their future games on multiple platforms. Like, they've been announcing, like, all these Final Fantasies coming to Xbox and Switch and stuff, and they also...
I was hoping to a Tetris, but...
Yeah, it's fine.
Shit.
Like, literally here, all you could potentially just try to survive on the Puyo board and then try to kill him through Tetrises.
That's kind of what I'm looking for.
But we'll see if that works out in the end. But, like, Final Fantasy 16... So it wasn't a failure, but it does seem to have underperformed. And it seems to have underperformed in different ways on all the platforms it's come out on. Like on PlayStation, its initial platform, it sold quite well at the beginning, but then had poor, I think the term they like to use is legs afterwards. Because
fuck, I completely fucked up.
They sold 3 million copies of it, I think, within the first... It was either the first week or the first month.
I'm just gonna retry because I completely fucked up my Tetris.
Sure, go ahead. And then literally, I think it was announced or semi-confirmed later on that it was 3.5 million that they'd sold years later. So like in between the first week or month or whatever, till years later, it sold 500,000 copies. Which isn't very much at all. So, and that was after it released on PC as well. On PC, it seemed to underperform for a couple of reasons. One was that the port, some people didn't like the technical performance in the port. But secondly, also because it didn't seem very much like an RPG at all. And then they released on Xbox, and I heard that the Xbox version of it didn't sell well at all, really either. So it just seems like it's kind of been failing on most of the platforms it releases on, in different ways. As they said,
No, why did I do that?
They said that the PlayStation release was profitable, even if it was like not within their expectations. And the director, or was it director or producer or something, of the recent Final Fantasy like 7 remake / rebirth stuff, was asked about the third entry, because very famously, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth seemed to underperform, in contrast to the first remake, which seemed to do very well. And if you swap to red, okay. So they were wondering like what's going to happen to the third part. Is it going to have a reduced budget? You know, all that kind of stuff. Has it been cancelled? Highly unlikely it would be cancelled, but, you know, not impossible. And he was telling them that apparently development of it is going smoothly. They don't really have any release date in mind as of yet. But also, they said that the long-term sales of it have been better over time.
I think people heard it was better, so...
And apparently, he also specified that it had been selling well both on PlayStation and PC. So, the PC release does seem to have, like, benefited it. Oh. If you can, like, push him up further on his Puyo board, he's almost gone on the Puyo board.
Don't ask me how I managed that.
See?
Hey!
Although you didn't even, like, push him, he just, like, made one move and lost.
Good match.
I did.
Surprisingly,
I did it through the
Thanks, so.
Yes, but also because mainly because
Think the real world you.
he had stacked it up. I actually didn't see how much garbage Puyo was in there. Like, I don't know how much of it was you, like, blocking his ways to pop
Where
them.
do they go? Who listens to my reports?
So, I mean, I don't think he really answered the question of whether, like, it'll have a reduced budget or anything. The main thing he seemed to be emphasizing was that the plan seems to be that when the third part of the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy comes out, that it's going to be on multiple platforms at once, not just PlayStation.
Oh, that's good.
Sprint trial. So this is
Because then they'll just get the profit right away.
fingers crossed. Assuming that people are happy with it. The other thing that, I mean, I don't know how much this applies to Final Fantasy, but like, Final Fantasy VII trilogy is a continuing story.
Yeah, it is.
So the question is, like, do you shouldn't really expect, I don't think, the third part of Final Fantasy VII to outsell the second part, right?
I guess.
Do you think that there should be an expectation of that?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to...
Okay. But sorry, I thought you seemed quite calm, which meant okay.
Kind of,
So-
and kind of not, sorry.
So it seems like it's kind of doing okay for Square Enix at the moment, but like Square Enix as well is just like weird in a lot of other ways. Some people are happy with some of the recent stuff though.
Actually, what was my goal here?
Clear out, was it 12 lines in
Oh.
1 minute or something?
Oh, I had 36 to go. Okay, I did half. I actually forgot to check out my goal.
So this is one of those ones where you don't need to build up a Tetris. Just
Yeah.
like clear lines.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so you could literally just like slam that down there, yeah. Very good. So yeah, and then like a lot of people seem quite happy with what they're doing with Dragon Quest for the most part, except for the fact that there's been no information about Dragon Quest 12 for ages. But in terms of the remakes that they're doing, people seem quite happy with them.
Good.
So there can be success in some way, shape, or form. Also, Romancing Saga 2, the remake, did so well for Square Enix recently.
Well, that's good.
And also, we know that, like, years ago now at this point, Kathlynn actually played it, I haven't played it yet.
What is the goal right now?
3 more lines.
Ah, okay, I'm not getting it.
But you'll get it soon, I think. But Trials of Mana outsold their expectations.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like, they weren't expecting it to sell as well as it did. I mean, it's funny because Square Enix also has, like, this stereotype of them, like, constantly being displeased with their games' performances. Like, commercially. And it isn't unwarranted in a way. Like, it kind of started with what's it called? Tomb Raider. The 2013 Tomb Raider. Because it had sold really strongly on the charts and all that, and Square Enix come back and said we're disappointed in it. People were like, what? It sold like 3 million copies or something and you're disappointed with that?
They were hoping for more.
And they got it, because that game also had really strong legs. I think it ended up selling 12 million or something. And then later on they sell the developer of it. But they have a history of that, so it's always weird to see Square Enix go, oh, this game actually outdid our expectations. Like, they... Off the top of my head, in recent years, games that outsold their expectations, Trials of Mana, the Nier Automata.
Oh, fuck.
You might want to restart just because of that weird... or you can keep going if you want. Yeah, that mightn't be bad because you need to clear those anyway.
Yeah.
So Nier Automata by far and away outsold their expectations. Also presume Power Wash Simulator also outsold their expectations.
Well, I'm assuming they weren't expecting much from Power Wash Simulator.
Yeah, they weren't expecting 5 million people to play that and stuff.
Yeah, people are weird, Owen.
People just found that game really satisfying, just washing...
Honestly, I get that. I'm going to be totally honest. I like a good, satisfying game. There's something about a game that's like, which is probably why, like, remember Farmville when Farmville was around?
Oh yeah. Well, farming games can be quite relaxing.
Yeah,
right?
like people were saying they were shocked so many people were playing it on Facebook when it first came out, and I was like, when you think about it though, it was just relaxing. I actually remember being addicted to Farmville as well. So were my friends, so were my sisters.
Stardew Valley is pretty much
Yeah, but you could do it on your phone kind of because you were on Facebook.
Yeah, I think
So-
Stardew Valley's on your phone now as well, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Oh, sure. I thought sometimes you could. It lets me slide. Before it used to let me slide it, but
I'm not sure. And I know some other farming games have also got mobile ports. Apparently, people did not like the mobile port of My Time at Portia.
oh really? Why?
Apparently, they just thought it was a subpar experience compared to like playing it on other platforms, and not in a, you know, this is clearly a mobile release, which means that certain things would have to be sacrificed. It was more like they thought fundamental things were like problematic. But yeah, like farming games, like, and then also there was a quite a popular one a few years back called Unpacking, which was a puzzle game about just like unpacking like after moving a house,
Yeah.
just like setting everything in the right positions and stuff.
Oh.
And some people really like that. But anyway, back to Square Enix. So, in terms of games that outdid their expectations, so I know there's Trials of Mana, Power Wash Simulator. I presume the recent Romancing Saga 2 game has, but I also don't think they've confirmed that. I do know they said that when they did the PC release of Saga Frontier and the Final Fantasy Legend Collection of Saga Collection, they said that the PC version of it outdid their expectations, because apparently they weren't expecting much from the PC release. Apparently it did better than they thought. That was cool. When you look at, you know, the figures for, you know, the collection of Final Fantasy, collection of Saga of Final Fantasy Legend, it wasn't like a huge hit in any way, shape, or form, so they clearly didn't have very high expectations. But it was at least you know, considered to be better than what they thought they were going to get. So, you know, that's something. I was like, okay, you're not going to get this one.
No.
I'll do better next time.
Okay.
What did they say? No time to waste, just... Wait, what did they say about holding a piece?
I don't know.
If you don't do this again, let's wait and see what he says. You know, just see if he has any advice for us. In terms of other things that outdid their expectations... Off the top of my head, I can't actually remember any others that outdid their expectations. I'm sure there's others. There has to be. But they're just so used to... most people are used to them saying, game didn't reach your expectation. So,
See,
you could just press down to like speed it up if you want. So, it's interesting in that regard. Like, I really do have a lot of admiration for Square Enix and their history and stuff, but like when it comes to their modern games, there's a lot of iffiness with them. Like, they're really obsessed with live service. There was a while where they were kind of obsessed with trying to implement NFTs into their games. Which, yeah, that's a term that people probably have forgotten about at this point. Because there was that craze for a while, and now it's pretty much gone. But yeah, they've just always been a bit of a weird company, in the modern day at least. And they even kind of acknowledged it when they brought in the new guy, I can't remember if he's the new CEO or if he's just like the chief game guy or whatever. But like, he was like, we're reorganizing our studios because we clearly haven't been, like, you know, looking at quality enough. And that is also true, because sometimes they release some games like really rapidly and you're kind of like, what are these games? And like, they've got bugs in them and all that kind of stuff. Like, do you know what the... I'll wait until this is done, actually. Also, when this is done, wait and see what your man says. I just want to see if he has any advice for you. So what does he say? He says, just hold a piece you can't fit right now.
Yeah, I've been doing that, but okay.
But the success, if we're talking Square Enix, like the successor to Final Fantasy 15. And so, surprise, surprise, because this is quite a surprise for a lot of people, the successor to Final Fantasy 15 was not Final Fantasy 16, as you would expect it would be. It's actually a game called Forspoken. And it was like done by the same company using the same engine and all that kind of stuff. Came out, didn't do well. So much didn't do well that the company, the developer, was folded into Square Enix as a whole. Like they were just gotten, like all your creative privileges, they're gone. Now you just gotta work as part of our company for other projects and stuff.
Oh my god, wait.
And again, a lot of people said a big problem with Forspoken, besides stuff like the writing and all that kind of stuff, is
that was so close.
that was really close. You might have broke that last line before it reached after one, so if you had just been one more, but I don't know. Anyway, was that it also felt very generic in the sense that it's trying to, like a lot of people argue that Square Enix have been, it feels like they've been trying to appeal to the Western audience more than the Japanese audience. Now, that's obviously up for debate, you know, because they do release some very weird Japanese games sometimes. But, I mean, for instance, Final Fantasy, that very much is the case. A game like Forspoken, very much the case. Like, they feel like games that were made with a Western audience in mind. And the thing that people point out is that, you know, sometimes what the Western audience wants isn't a game that's designed for them, but a game that's designed for Japan.
Yes, sorry.
Which is weird. You know, sounds weird at least.
Oh, I thought I only had one to go.
You were close. But I mean, you're so close that like you can tell that you're like.
No, I'll get it.
Yeah, that is the case. Sometimes, like for instance, when I was younger, a lot of Japanese games appealed to me because they felt different. They didn't feel like the Western stuff. Now, that's not to say that Western stuff is bad. There's lots of amazing Western games. Like for instance, you know, if you think about point-and-click games, Day of the Tentacle. One of my favorite point-and-click games ever made.
Day of the Tentacle is good.
Eden and Harvey, the two Eden and Harvey games. Adore them, they're from Germany. What other good Western games do I like? Well, I mean, I really like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, and those are Western games. Even if
It would be, yeah.
originally they were published by a Japanese company, the developers were Western. There's loads of amazing ones. Mass Effect. The original Dragon Age was so good. But that's also one that makes me feel sad because how the rest of the series ended up going. Like, I guess there's another little story I can tell folks as well. So, I was playing on PC for a while, but for a long time it was pretty much just World of Warcraft. I think it was around near the end of secondary school that I really started, like, going into games other than World of Warcraft on PC. And I remember when Dragon Age Origins was coming out. And what's so weird as well was that Mass Effect 2 was also coming out like a month later or something. They were from the same company.
Yeah.
So that was so weird that the same developer had two games releasing within like 2 months of each other. Like, that's something that people probably couldn't even imagine now, given how long it takes some games to be made. But I remember playing Dragon Age Origins and really enjoying it. But as much as I enjoyed it, I also was thinking about, you know, how it could be improved in the future. I was thinking like, oh, the next game, if they just like iron up some of this stuff, oh, can you imagine how good the next game will be? And it was around later on, I think, that EA stopped releasing games on Steam. They set up their own digital distribution platform called Origin, which is pretty much gone now. I think it's called the EA app, and they do release their games on Steam now again. They came crawling back. But the point is, I played Dragon Age, the first game, back when I was in secondary school, but I didn't play Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition until they were released on Steam, which was only a few years ago, maybe not 2001, 2021 maybe, or something like that. So that was like over 10 years later. I actually get to play the sequels.
Oh, fuck.
And the thing is, you have all these ideas of how a sequel can go. And also, I was really interested in... I mean, okay, I'd heard weird things about Dragon Age 2. But then I'd also heard that Dragon Age 3, which is Dragon Age Inquisition, had won Game of the Year. So I was like, okay, that's really cool. What kind of game could that be? You know, and how did they improve it? And so I played the two of them. And you know what, folks? Here's a couple of things. I actually kind of prefer Dragon Age 2 over Dragon Age Inquisition. Don't know how controversial a statement that is, but I still think the original Dragon Age is the best.
Honestly, Owen, I think that's so controversial. I'll never speak to you again. Sorry.
I was actually shocked that you were even talking to me there just at this moment, but...
No, I just wanted to make a little joke.
Yeah. It's a good joke. It's just, I honestly didn't expect you to actually talk. I thought you'd be, like, super focused on this.
Kind of am, but...
But,
I kind of half listening.